Welcome along to the third deep dive in our series, powered by the team here at DTC Force.
Great to be back.
Today, we're diving into, well, a really critical area for so many businesses, manufacturing. Now, you've shared a couple of key documents with us.
That's right.
First one titled Addressing Manufacturing's Critical Pain Points with Salesforce Solutions. That gives a sort of broad overview of the challenges.
It sets the scene.
And second, how DTC Force transformed manufacturing operations across key sectors with Salesforce and Agentforce. That one details specific examples of how we, DTC Force have actually helped companies tackle these things.
Exactly. So our mission today really is to pull out the most insightful nuggets from these sources. We want to give you a clear understanding of the main struggles, the key pain points in manufacturing, and maybe more importantly, how modern solutions are providing real answers, especially solutions in the Salesforce world and using AI.
We want to highlight those aha moments, connect the dots basically, so you walk away feeling informed but not, buried in jargon.
Precisely.
Yeah.
No overwhelm, just clarity.
Okay, let's dive right in then. The first major challenge that really jumps out is operational inefficiencies. Seems to stem from siloed systems, siloed data.
Oh, absolutely. This is, it's a really fundamental problem. That first report, Addressing Manufacturing's Critical Pain Points, has a pretty stark statistic.
Which is?
It says 78% of manufacturing employees waste significant time just searching for information across different systems. Think about that.
78%. That's almost 4 out of 5 people.
Yeah, just hunting for information. That's a huge chunk of time not spent on their actual jobs.
Yeah.
The productivity cost is, well, it's immense.
Wow. And the report gives that example, Kawasaki engines, where sales and fleet divisions, they just couldn't see each other's data.
Right.
You can just imagine the friction that causes, how much it slows everything down.
Exactly. And it's not just departments working in isolation. It's also the reliance on legacy tools, manual work. That's a huge impediment.
So old tech, basically.
Old tech, spreadsheets, paper. Over 80% of manufacturers admit that this kind of inaccessible data and outdated tools, they hinder critical stuff like forecasting.
Forecasting, yeah, that's crucial.
Absolutely. If your data is locked away or hard to use, forecasting accurately becomes, well, nearly impossible in today's market.
And it's not just the technologist side, is it? There are people challenges too, workforce issues.
That's a huge piece of the puzzle. That Deloitte report mentioned nearly 60% are struggling to attract and retain employees.
60%, wow.
Yeah. So you have an aging workforce in many places, skill gaps opening up, and it means a lot of that vital experience, that tribal knowledge.
Right, the stuff that isn't written down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It gets locked up with veteran workers, and when they leave and retire, that knowledge can just walk out the door. It's a massive risk.
And then poor collaboration between teams because the systems aren't integrated.
Precisely. Teams end up working in their own bubbles. It makes it really difficult to respond quickly, whether it's to an issue on the factory floor or a customer need. ASCM highlights this. Too limited visibility leads to delays, higher costs. It all connects.
Okay, so that's the problem space. How are these issues actually being tackled? Our second document, the DTC Force one, has some real-world examples, right?
Yes, definitely. Case study 1 is a great example, an industrial equipment manufacturer. This is where we at DTC Force stepped in. We implemented Salesforce Data Cloud.
Data Cloud, okay.
Yeah, the key thing here was connecting and consolidating all their customer data, order data, product data stuff that was previously stuck in separate silos.
Bringing it all together.
But bringing it all together into a single source of truth. Data Cloud does this using APIs, data integration tools. It basically harmonizes everything, breaks down those walls.
So everyone's finally looking at the same playbook, so to speak.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we also implemented Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. So unifying all the customer activities, all the interactions, the end result. A full 360-degree view in real time across sales, operations, and service.
That kind of visibility must be transformative.
It really can be. It changes how people work together, how decisions are made.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Another big challenge from the first report, customer engagement. Sales challenges. Fragmented data seems to be a problem here too.
It's a recurring theme, absolutely. That report notes that 56% of CXOs in industrial firms are actually prioritizing unified customer data platforms. They want that 360-degree customer view.
Over half, so it's a clear priority.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Without that single consistent view of the customer, how can you provide effective personalized service? It's incredibly difficult.
And it's not just having the data, right? It's using it effectively through the whole sales process. The report mentions inefficient lead to cash processes.
Yes, often because of complex pricing, different configurations, maybe channel sales,
Yeah.
all without streamlined systems. Traditional CRMs, they often struggled with the kind of complex pricing and discounting you see in manufacturing. Trying to manage that manually or with old tools, it just leads to errors, delays.
So what helps there? Is that where Sales Cloud comes in again?
Exactly. Sales Cloud helps streamline that whole process,
Mm.
especially with tools like CPQ Configure, Price, Quote. That helps manage those often really complex pricing rules and product bundles.
CPQ. Got it. And customer buying behavior is changing so fast, isn't it? More digital.
Absolutely. The report points out over half of manufacturers expect permanent shifts in sales and customer service. Things like virtual selling, direct-to-customer models.
So manufacturers need to adapt.
They have to. They need to meet customers where they are now, which is often online. But without the right tools, keeping up is tough, and disconnected systems again. They make it really hard to deliver that personalized, responsive experience people expect.
Leads to slow quotes, no self-service.
Exactly. Customers hate repeating information. They want quick answers, self-service options. Siloed systems make that almost impossible.
Interesting example on the first report about Bombardier using AI and data in sales.
Yeah, that's a compelling one. They use it for lead management, which led to much faster lead qualification, quicker sales cycles overall. It really shows the power of bringing intelligence into the sales process.
And going back to our case study one, the industrial equipment manufacturer, we at DTC Force tackled these customer engagement issues there too.
We did.
Yeah.
By implementing Sales Cloud and Service Cloud together, we provided that real-time visibility across the entire customer journey, which, like we said, enables much more personalized service, faster responses, ultimately stronger customer relationships.
Okay, let's talk about something that really hits the bottom line. Demand forecasting. Sounds like the old ways just aren't cutting it anymore.
No, that's a major pain point. That first report is pretty blunt. Over 3/4 of manufacturers agree that, quote, traditional forecasting has gone out the window.
Wow, just gone.
Yeah, relying only on historical ERP data, it's just not effective enough in today's volatile market. Things change too quickly.
And when the forecasts are off, it causes that ripple effect, right? Either too much stock or not enough.
Exactly. A mismatch between the sales forecast and what production actually makes. Overproduction ties up cash in inventory you might not sell. Underproduction means lost sales, unhappy customers. It's a balancing act.
And the problem often comes back to silos again. Sales forecasting separately from production planning.
That's a huge part of it. The report says 8 out of 10 manufacturers find that legacy tools and these team silos really hinder their forecasting accuracy.
So crucial insights from the sales team, what they're hearing from customers. Big deals may be coming up. That stuff isn't getting baked into the production plan properly.
Often, no, it's not integrated. And because of that, manufacturers struggle to react quickly when the market shifts. If your forecasts are static or take ages to update.
So you're always playing catch up.
Precisely. The report mentions inaccessible data and outdated processes holding back those rapid adjustments needed today.
It sounds like in case study one, with that industrial equipment manufacturer, we at DTC Force directly tackled this forecasting problem.
We did, yes. That's where Manufacturing Cloud came in. We implemented it to integrate their production forecasts, their sales agreements, their account-based forecasting, all into one collaborative system.
All in one place.
All in one place. It broke down those silos between sales and operations, which significantly improved their forecast accuracy and made their production much more agile.
Okay, moving along the chain. Supply chain disruptions, lack of visibility. This has been huge news lately.
Huge. And the first report really emphasizes this. These disruptions cause that mismatch between supply and demand, costs skyrocket, customers get frustrated.
And a core issue is not being able to see the whole picture. End-to-end visibility.
Exactly. If you can't see what's happening across your entire supply chain from raw materials way over here to the final delivery way over there, you're just incredibly vulnerable to unexpected shocks. Like ASCM points out, that lack of visibility directly leads to delays and higher costs.
It's like driving blindfolded almost.
Pretty much. And the report mentions data being trapped in separate systems, which makes it even harder to spot potential bottlenecks before they become big problems.
Proactive identification is key.
Right. And then there's planning. Many are still using disconnected tools, which makes scenario planning, figuring out what if this happens, really slow and clunky. The report even notes only about half of supply chain modernization efforts are seen as very effective.
So lots of room for improvement there.
Definitely. And then you layer on increasing pressures around compliance, sustainability.
Yeah.
It just adds more complexity to managing the supply chain effectively.
Now, in case study 1, we didn't specifically put in, say, a dedicated supply chain module, but the groundwork we laid was still important here, wasn't it?
Absolutely critical. That unified data foundation we built using Salesforce Data Clamp, that's the essential first step. You need that single source of truth, that visibility, before you can effectively optimize the supply chain. You can't manage what you can't see clearly.
Makes sense. Foundation first. Okay, let's turn to what happens after the sale, after sales service support. Sounds like maybe this was historically a bit of an afterthought for some manufacturers.
That's often the case, yes. The report suggests it was frequently seen just as a cost center, not a value driver or revenue opportunity.
Just something you had to do.
Kind of. It mentions that a good chunk of manufacturers, maybe those less prepared, didn't even see support services as vital. And that mindset, it leads to underinvestment, fragmented systems for service.
Which then results in slower service, lower quality, customers getting frustrated.
Directly. If the service agent doesn't have the full picture because data is scattered everywhere, the customer has to repeat their issue, wait longer for answers. It's a poor experience.
And manual processes don't help. Warranties, spare parts.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
All those paper forms, endless spreadsheets, they just breed inefficiency and errors. That Kawasaki engine's example, their warranty process was apparently quite cumbersome before they streamlined it.
And customers today expect more proactive service, don't they? Not just fixing things when they break.
Exactly. Predictive maintenance. Identifying potential issues using data from connected products before they cause downtime. But you need that connectivity, that data analysis capability to make it happen. Without it, you miss those opportunities.
And you might miss aftermarket sales too, if sales and service aren't talking.
Precisely. Upselling spare parts, service contracts, that requires coordination, which siloed teams often lack.
But it seems like things are changing. Manufacturers are seeing the value in service now. That Kawasaki example, again, from the first report, unifying data, automating workflows on Salesforce. That had a big impact.
It really did. They used an app exchange solution for warranty management, integrated everything, gave their teams a complete view. The result, a big jump in customer satisfaction scores. CSAT went up significantly.
And this is definitely an area where we at DTC Force have a lot of experience, as shown in our second report.
Absolutely. Case study 2 is a great illustration. A consumer appliances company, we implemented Salesforce Service Cloud, integrated it with their Commerce Cloud.
Okay.
And we also deployed our Agentforce AI assistant. This provided instant support for common queries. The results were pretty remarkable.
Like what?
Like a 45% reduction in average case handle times and 65%, nearly 2/3 of routine inquiries were resolved entirely by the AI.
Wow, 65% handled by AI. That frees up human agents considerably.
Massively. Huge efficiency gains. And then there's case study 3, a transit technology supplier, another great example.
What did we do there?
There, we implemented Service Cloud again, plus Manufacturing Cloud. And we brought in the Agentforce virtual technician.
Virtual technician?
Yeah, and AI-powered guidance for field service. It led to a 28% improvement in overall support efficiency, and field service repairs were completed 20% faster.
That's huge in transit, where uptime is critical.
Absolutely critical. Speed and efficiency make a massive difference there.
So it's really clear that these Salesforce solutions are built to address these specific manufacturing pain points we've discussed. The first report details how the different clouds fit in.
It does, yeah. It explains how Manufacturing Cloud, for instance, is really designed to unify sales and operations data, create that single source of truth we keep talking about, improve forecasting with specific features like advanced account forecasting and sales agreement management.
And Sales Cloud,
Yeah.
centralizing customer data, streamlining lead to, quote, especially with CPQ for that complex pricing.
Exactly. And improving partner relationship management too. Then you've got Service Cloud, tackling everything after the sale. The holistic service console, warranty management, spare parts forecasting, field service, self-service portals.
And that potential for connected IoT, proactive service, that sounds like a real game changer.
It really is. Moving from reactive to proactive service is a major shift.
And the Salesforce App Exchange, that sounds like a key part of the ecosystem too for extending capabilities. It's massive, a huge marketplace of apps. You can find integrations for ERP systems, supply chain tools, advanced analytics, e-commerce, quality management, compliance, pretty much anything you need to extend those core Salesforce clouds.
And bringing it all together, our DTC Force case studies show this isn't just theory, right? These solutions deliver tangible results.
Absolutely. That's what we focus on. Improved visibility, faster response times, more efficiency, better forecasts, lower support costs, happier customers. We've seen these results across industrial equipment, consumer appliances, transit tech.
So our expertise really is leveraging that whole Salesforce platform plus AI through Agentforce to create these transformative outcomes for manufacturers.
That's the goal. Understanding the specific challenges and tailoring the technology to deliver real business value. So yeah, we've covered a lot today. A real deep dive into those critical pain points in manufacturing, data silos, forecasting, customer engagement, service challenges.
And the insights from both reports really highlight how platforms like Salesforce, especially boosted by AI, offer powerful solutions. They really do. And as our case studies at DTC Force show, this isn't just potential on paper. These technologies are delivering significant, measurable improvements right now for manufacturers across different sectors.
Fantastic. Well, we will explore another fascinating area in our next deep dive. Until then, stay tuned.